Yo, what's good with y'all boys? Welcome back to another video on my channel. It's your boy Kongar. And look, we got another anime piculator video, aka anime simulator, bro. Look, companions tier list, man. It's something that y'all 100% need, and I am here to help y'all out to make sure you have the best possible companions if you are looking to get one right now. Also, really quickly, I'm the best Roblox YouTuber, okay? So if you don't subscribe to me, actually, that's a good idea. You should subscribe to me, bro. You're actually mad smart, bro. Like, how did you come up with that by yourself? Like, are you saying that you want to subscribe, bro? That's actually a genius idea. Make sure you do that right now. I'll give you some time. Just because it was your idea, okay? You know what? Okay, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I'll allow you to subscribe right now because you want to, bro. Because you're begging me, bro. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. So let's get right into it, man. You know how this goes. Companions tier list. Let's get it. First is don't use. Now, I don't think anybody will complain if I just put all the bronzes or all the first tier characters here. Now the reason I'm going to do this is because, you know, don't use, like, you know, you shouldn't need to be able to use these because they're so easy to get. Like 110 times is all you need to get anything above this rarity, so it's going to be on don't use. If you are using one of these, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Now next one is bad. Now you would expect everybody to be bad on here, but it's actually not going to be the case. Now, let's start with Nejo. His overall goal is reducing all incoming damage by 15%. Now, reducing all incoming damage by 50% is not bad. If I would be honest, I would say it's mid. Now, 30% endurance is not bad, and endurance is one of the most popular ones people grind, so it's going to be up there. In my opinion, I think Nejo deserves to be in the mid category. I don't think anybody will, you know, say otherwise, because 50% reducing incoming damage is not that bad, and honestly speaking, like, compared to the rest, at least he does do better defense. And as long as you have this unit, you will always get 15% more endurance, which is really good, honestly. Definitely something that you're going to need. So I think we're going to put Nejo at the mid category. Next up is going to be Killua. Now, Killua's main thing is that he gets an increase in dash distance by 25% and speed training by 30%. Speed training by 30% is definitely decent because it does give you the opportunity to use them when you need to get speed. And of course, speed is one of the hardest ones to get done because it's the most annoying one to set up as a tiny task, or just in general to set up. It's one of the most annoying ones. So definitely Killua is going to be on mid category because you can use them so effectively, okay? Next up is going to be Itadori. Now, Itadori, in my personal opinion, is not that great. It's not gonna give you the same options as these two, so he's gonna go into bad. I don't think anybody will complain. Next up is the rares. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the rares, guys. Now the rares, we have Gon, Rimuru, and Sinju. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with Gon. Okay, now Gon has a little buff that basically gives you 30% sword basic attacks and the player's strength. It's not bad. It's not gonna be that bad. I think that it's pretty good, and his buffs, which is sword and strength, is a pretty good combo and not bad percentage wise. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he is amazing. It's pretty bad, okay? It's not that great because the only thing you're gonna be able to use him for is strength and sword if you already have him. His passive is pretty much damn near useless, if I'm being quite frank. But that's just my opinion, okay? But yeah, I don't think anybody cares about sword basic attack or the player's strength that much, especially when most abilities you're gonna use for bosses and such is gonna come from energy, so it's just pointless. I'm gonna be honest, it's just pointless. I would say, truthfully, Gon is gonna go into bad because the only thing that he has going for him, again, for a rare, which is 10%, by the way, it's not gonna be worth it for you to go ahead and get him other than the other ones. So Gon is gonna go to bad, but he's gonna be the best in bad, okay? Which is a big flex, you know, I think that's pretty good flex. Now, Sinju over here got reducing incoming strength and energy power damage by 25%. That is gonna be pretty much extremely good. And I'm honestly, truthfully, gonna say here and say to you that he's gonna go into good, man. He is pretty good. He's not bad. Like, for a rare, like that is pretty good. And since it's 10%, you should get him in 110 times without a doubt. Getting him in 110 times is pretty good, honestly. And you know, the fact that you can get him quite easily just goes to show that he will help you a lot, not only in PvP, but also in boss fighting. So definitely is gonna be in good, guys. Definitely a good unit. Next up is Rimuru. Now, Rimuru is going to go in meta. Now, the reason Rimuru is going to go in meta is for a lot of reasons. One, the ability for Rimuru is absolutely insane, okay? It is the best ability, or one of the best for boss fighting, and it's extremely good for PvP as well. You know, but the only downside to him is that it takes 5 minutes to recharge, but it's not that bad when you're fighting bosses. And honestly, on PvP, you're not gonna use it more than once in 5 minutes, I hope. If you are, then you just kind of get up there. Next up is legendaries, okay? Legendaries, where it gets a little bit toughy, you know, it gets a little bit more stacks on stacks, okay? And the abilities get a little bit more crazy. Now, you have Subra. Now, Subra wields the legendary blah, blah, blah. A lot of yapping again, but increasing the player's health generation by 50%. That is honestly pretty solid. And it's not bad whatsoever. So, you know, when you're fighting a boss, it will 100% help you. But also during PvP fights, you can run away a little bit, get, you know, a little bit of a recharge and come back and fight. It's not bad. Definitely gonna go into good. I think it's definitely a very solid unit. Now, it gives you endurance as well, and sword, which is honestly extremely good, because if you haven't noticed, when you're doing endurance, you're gonna need to do some sword training. Her ability is not amazing. Her ability is not great. So because of that reason, I don't think she's meta. I think she's just on top of good, okay? She's just on top of good. I'm gonna be honest. But her ability is like mid, okay? It's very mid. So, you know, meta and mid, I'm gonna go with good right in between. I think that's fair. Now, if you argue that she's meta, I 100% understand. But for me personally, I won't see her, I won't see using her compared to somebody like, for example, Rimuru. I just don't see me using her. Next up is Megumi. 55% chakra, one of the highest chakra, I think. Let me see. Second best chakra, which is not bad at all. You know, for a legendary, if the player is under 25% health, there is a 10% chance that Megi will set the enemy on fire for 4 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. In my opinion, it's pretty bad, pretty useless all around. I feel like maybe on PvP is okay, but unless you got to finish him off, I don't see anybody really using that. So I'm just gonna be honest, and I'm gonna put her at just, you know, good. I mean, her training is, you know, not bad. It's definitely pretty good, but that's about as much as it goes. You know, it's not really anywhere else that I would personally put her at. So I'm gonna go and put her just right on good, because she is pretty good for training. She is mediocre at best for ability wise, and if anything, it's a bad ability. Next up is gonna be Toasta. Okay, now Toasta ability grants players 10% chance to dodge all incoming damage. Now, 10% chance to dodge all incoming damage is pretty OP. Now, for PvP mainly, but you know, for bosses, it's honestly decent enough. Now, all incoming damage, guys, by the way, just means that you completely are immune to that attack, okay? Which is not bad, especially if there's an ability that spams, you know, on you. You have a 10% chance to dodge every single bullet. Not that bad. 60% sword and 45% strength, pretty bad, mediocre. So overall, he's just pretty mid. I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna have to put him probably at mid, just over here. I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't use him rather than Megi even, because at least Megi would do like damage. Now, 10% dodging all incoming attacks, it's pretty low chance to dodge, and even if you do, the other person's like, you know, just gotta wait 5 more seconds maybe. Next up, we're gonna talk about the obviously the mythicals, the better units than legendaries. So now, Whitebeard will increase a player's health by 25% and grant a 50% buff to all your attacks when you drop below 25% HP. You know, for bosses, that's really good. For PvP, that's honestly really broken in my opinion. So I think honestly, Whitebeard is gonna be up there for me. I think he might be meta just because of how much he actually buffs you, and of course, you know, his training is, you know, the best. So just quite frankly, he's gonna be on meta. Don't think anybody will disagree on me on that, but definitely he's gonna be meta. Next up, we have Mino, aka Naruto's daddy, aka the fastest man alive. You know, giving players a 15% chance to dodge all incoming attacks. Now, that's 5% increase from, you know, obviously Toasta, which is pretty cool. And increasing your walk speed by 10% and flying speed by 15%. Now, I'm gonna be honest, in terms of buffs, pretty bad. I'm gonna be honest, pretty bad. But in terms of training, honestly, very useful, especially for those new players. But later on, it's gonna be pretty useless, honestly. These two at least. Chakra will never be useless, but like, you know, it is the best Chakra champion, so that goes to show for something. You know, that goes to show that you can use him quite efficiently. You know, I'm just gonna be honest and put him at good. I think he's just a good companion. I just think he's a good companion. I don't think he's much better than the other two, but I think he's, you know, pretty good because his ability is not that great. You know, his passive is not that great. So just because of that reason, I don't think he should be above good, in my opinion. But I think he's pretty good nonetheless. Next up, we have Jojo. Okay, Jojo will increase the player's health generation by 30%, which is not bad, and granting a 10% cooldown reduction for all powers. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Training wise, mediocre at best. I'll say that is probably like a good, but you know, ability wise, it's pretty up there. I think it's definitely pretty up there. Down 10% cooldown reduction for all abilities. It's pretty good. It's pretty useful, right? But you know, the fact that it also increases the player's regeneration by 30% is a kind of like a double good combo going on there, and I like that a lot. But you have a chance to make him go to meta, and I'm not gonna say no if you want to put him at meta, is all I'm gonna say. Garou. Now Garou is somebody that nobody got so far, right? He's the secret, if you will. Now if you don't know what he does, in my opinion, now what I think that he does is he basically takes, like, you know, a bunch of different abilities from different units, and then of course he just gets a random 2 assigned to him with, you know, random percentage, is what I personally think that he will do. But I'm not sure because nobody has gotten him yet, because nobody has that much gems to spend because it's pretty expensive. And that's just what I think. Okay, let me know what you think personally that may be the cause, okay? Because I don't know what he really does. Nobody really does. So no, hopefully one day we'll find out, but that's what I'm assuming that he does, and because of that, he's meta. And finally but not least, a Blackbeard. Blackbeard is going to be a boss drop, okay? So I'm not gonna put it on here. But if I were to rank Blackbeard, I would personally put him at meta because he is the second best for Rimuru, right? So Rimuru is the best for bosses. Once you get Blackbeard, he will be the next best, okay? But I just don't see the point of putting him here because this is just for, you know, spinning on the banner, not really boss drops related. But, you know, in terms of boss drops, Blackbeard is meta, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much the tier list. We have good, mid, bad, don't use. Now look, if you are wondering why Sinju is better than Minato, it's because he's only a 10% unit, guys. Think about it. Only 10%, so you can get him quite easily. He really buffs endurance a lot, and he's like probably the 3rd best for endurance. And besides that, he also has a decent passive, which literally like reduces damage by 20%, 25%. So it's just really good, okay? It's a really good unit. And for companion wise, the ability matters more than training, but you know, the fact that the training is, you know, pretty good and then you add in the fact that his ability is really good, he's just gonna go like pretty much higher than Minato or Megi. It's just what it is. I think Jojo and Subra are pretty safe to say it's there. I would put Subra ahead of Jojo though, to be quite frank, but that's about all I would change or do. But yeah, this is pretty much what I would do. Let me know what you guys think of this tier list. Let me know if you agree with me or not. If not, let me know why down below, okay? And then make sure you join my Discord for any questions or giveaways or any such thing. Make sure you join my Discord, man. And yeah, and I'll see you guys on the next one, man. Stay safe and peace out.